you go. A brief intro, a little Valentine's Day Astro Weather intro for you, and that's all based on well the thumbnail, and it's a much more family friendly version of the thumbnail than I had tried to create out of the ethers of AI. Initially, I wanted the Cupid angel peeing on the couple's head. And I'm not sure most of the AIs were willing to do that for me. I think that would probably qualify as like a golden shower. But it was a theme. It was a playful theme on Aquarius, right? And I was trying to incorporate a playful theme of Aquarius with kind of a Valentine's Day thing. So what I got a kind of a cleaner version of that, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's always interesting going to these AI sites and what they allow you to do or don't allow you to do. I mean, I'm sure I should just pick one and pay $8.99 a month and just access the full spectrum, the full suite of services. But there's still a part of me that's living in 1999 when shit on the internet was free. I mean, it's still kind of free, but you pay a price now. Like, oh, just give us your Google email address and you'll be able to sign up. Well, once you do that, they track you everywhere you go, right? And that's the economic model. It's not the $8.99 a month. They're probably going to lose. I mean, they'll make money at $8.99 a month. And then they have tiered services, right? Like just like any other thing. And there are some tiered services where you can pay upwards of $100 a month just to access all of their technical goodies. As he finishes up his coffee. Yeah, yesterday I was playing with 2 days ago, I was playing with the voices. And the voices are really interesting because you can clone voices too. Like I could clone my voice, or if I had a recording of you, and I've got a bunch of recordings of you. It's like I have this data bank with all these readings I have of people, and I could use their voices. I could clone their voices. Man, it's diabolical. I could come up with like kind of a blackmail scheme, and I could send these people. They wouldn't know though. I'd have to have a third party like email account or something, so they wouldn't know it was me. And I could have their clone voice saying certain things, right? And if I was really diabolical, I could use information from these readings. And oh boy, I could make a lot of dirty money that way. Probably more money than as an astrologer. You see, this is how Scorpio rising thinks. It's a good thing I'm on the other side of that moral equation. However, I have to process the variables. I'm doing it for you. I process the variables for you so you don't have to process them. So you don't have to think about them. You and my husband think alike on that, Robert. That's funny. You'll never run me off. Yeah, that's good. You're a hardcore group. You're you're like you're like the Dirty Dozen. You're a hardcore group. You're a group that's fit for the mission. I was on with Quite Frankly last night, and it was a very interesting experience. The most interesting part of the experience was I was packed up and ready to go run errands. And then a voice in my head told me, "You're supposed to be on Quite Frankly." And I'm like, holy shit, what time is it? And I had 5 minutes to get it together and be on the show. It was, and he doesn't know that, right? Like I didn't bring that up. And I'm glad I did because I was on his freaking thumbnail. And it would have been really bad for him to not have his main guest on, because I would have been off blithely running my errands, and then getting a text from, "Where are you?" And like having to turn around and race home and run in, and oh boy. So I don't know who or what was in my head telling me that I needed to do the show, but thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was a moment of freaking divine intervention, and very, very, very hunchy, very hunchy. All right, let's see. Who do we have here today? By the way, Frank's chat. They're an interesting bunch, aren't they? They have how would I describe them? Humorous. They have an interesting sense of humor. I wouldn't call it dark humor. What would I call it? I would call it, I don't know. There's a word. It's too early for me. It's like the words. Give me about a half an hour, and the word will pop into my brain. But there's a certain word, and they're funny. It's a funny group, right? It's a funny group, but it's a different kind of humor. Let's put it that way. And then we evolved or de-evolved or however you want. I thought it was fun. A discussion about food. We got into a food discussion, and I got to talk about some of my food peeves, which include cucumbers. I don't like cucumbers. Cucumbers to me, and there's a cultural element to this. Like if I was really like a cultural banger, right? Like, and I'm not in this way, but if I were, this would be the perfect analogy. Is that cucumbers like Muslims? And what's interesting is that cucumbers play a role in that type of food from that part of the world. They're kind of in everything, right? And if you don't like cucumbers, Middle Eastern and Mediterranean food, it is going to be a lot more. You're going to be a lot more selective about what you eat. But cucumbers are kind of like Muslims. Once they're everywhere, right? And once they get into your food, they unmistakably leave their presence known. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of being xenophobic, but that's how I feel about cucumbers, because a cucumber is the thing. And I know a lot of people love cucumbers. I'm not sure why, but let's say you have let's say you have a salad. You order a salad, and when you are a fussy Virgo, you have to ask questions. And this is one of my pet peeves with restaurants. They will tell you about a dish, and you read the ingredients of the dish, which sound lovely, or else you wouldn't order the dish. But they're not telling you every ingredient of the dish. Like, they leave out a few pertinent details. Now, with salads, you learn to ask, do you put cucumbers on the salad? And if they say yes, I'll say, could you just please hold the cucumbers? Every now and then, they'll forget it, which is human error. It happens. And they have the cucumbers on the salad. And you can take them off the salad. Like, there's two things you can do. You can be a dick and you can send it back and say, I asked for no cucumbers. Or you can simply remove the cucumbers, which is what I would do. But the thing is that even if you remove the cucumber, that cucumber is still there. It is still on the salad because it has this ability to not only show up in a certain location, but permeate. You see, that is the metaphor which I was reaching for. That's the metaphor with cucumbers. They show up and they begin to just permeate. Everything they touch becomes cucumbery. And I think, to me, it's too stringent. But the weird thing is, I like a good pickle, which used to be a cucumber, but went through a torture process. They tortured the cucumber. The cucumber deserved to become a pickle. So it was the best fate for that cucumber. The other thing is, like, now this is my other pet peeve, since we're in this Capricorn moon and squaring Neptune, we're in pet peeve territory, is the ingredient part with restaurants, where they spell out all the ingredients theoretically, and then all of a sudden it comes back and there's a heaping pile of tomatoes in the thing that you ordered. And it's like, where the fuck did it say tomatoes on this menu? It didn't. It didn't. Some creative genius in the kitchen just decided that this dish would just be much better with tomatoes. Even though on the menu, it doesn't say that. And so after a while, you have to be a pain in the ass, and you have to ask, does this have tomatoes? And you'd be surprised at how many servers don't know what's even in their own food. And they have to go back to the kitchen, and then they have to ask if it has tomatoes in it. And then they come back and they say, yes, it does. Well, can you not put the tomatoes on there? It sounds lovely without the tomatoes. Yes, we can do that. So there you go. Right? But it's that inability to be detailed with the menu that it's the omission. It's the crime of omission. That if I'm a food reviewer, that would see, I could never be a food reviewer because my palate is kind of limited. Like, how many food items have tomatoes in them? A lot. Like, I think about myself doing these food shows on TV, and they put together, these sandwiches or burgers or whatever, and you have to eat them. And there's a tomato in this thing, right? And in order to really honor their dish, I guess you have to eat the tomato. But ahead of time, I'd have to pull the chef aside and say, hey, look, man, this sounds really good, but make sure none of those tomatoes get on there. So I'm not sure I could, And it's like, here's our signature dish. And, it's got, we make a great tabbouleh salad. Parsley, that's another thing. Too much parsley. It's a little too stringent. A little parsley goes a long ways, right? There you go. Food talk with Robert Phoenix. Let's just do a whole show of astrology and food. I might get more viewers. Let's see. Who do we have here? D. James in the house. There's our guy, the California contrarian. Misbehaving too. What's up with you? Amy's here. Hi, Amy. Jackie Delario. Ratchet Boo. Barbara Boots. Having some mercury fillings removed. Well, who you got to go to for that. One of the world's finest and foremost practitioners of mercury removal. The lovely and talented one. I often have suggested to her that she promote herself as a vacation mercury removal destination, right? Like Austin's a cool place. Like, why not come to Austin? And especially starting right around February, late February, the weather starts to get really nice. It's almost like springtime. Come to Austin, late winter, early spring. Enjoy the music scene, right? Austin's got great music, and have your mercury removed. And then once it's removed, you hang out for a couple of days and you enjoy the food and the cuisine. So it's sort of like a medical vacation. And I've often suggested this to her that she could pull people, especially people from the north. Man, I got to get out of here and I got to get this mercury removed. Well, why don't you come to Austin, hang out for a couple of days, get your mercury removed, and then enjoy the sights and the scenes and the lovely Texas hospitality. Mercury retrograde is coming, and we've often talked about it, and that's actually a really good time to remove the mercury in your teeth. So you should have a Mercury retrograde sale. There's Darlene. What's up, Darlene? Kristen Foos is here. Hi, Kristen. Belkel. What's happened to Belkel? Janine is with us. So did they find Savannah Guthrie's mother? I can't keep up sometimes. Miss Nakia is here. The Beast is here. Speaking of lovely and talented, there she is. H.M. Grant. Howdy back. We got the Soul Traveler. We got Mark S. We got Debisu. We got Kim Harvey. We got Sandra Wells. What's up, cuz? Josie's Jazzy Junk, the Triple J. JJJ. Bonnie Willow. Hey, we got a Bonnie Willow sighting. What's up, Bonnie? Good to see you. The great Bonnie Willow is with us. Liddy Lou, I got to bed late and I'm still so sleepy. I can relate. Catherine Rosen. Hi, Catherine. What is good, Chatarians coming from Ratchet Boo? Let's see. Maya Rose from Mexico. Liddy Lou, cute thumbnail. I go the extra mile for you people in thumbnail world. It's exactly what this Aquarian would have done. It's the age of Aquarius. Yes, it is. Jam Chloe, what's up? Life has been intense. It's only just begun. That's why I love you. Never run me off. You and my husband think alike on that, Robert. I'm glad. I am 63 and I don't do all those apps and all. No thanks. Great to get that poison out of your mouth. Yes, indeed. I agree. Amy Gill's here. What's up, Amy? What else? Interesting to hear about what my evil twin would do. You have no idea. You have no idea what I have to do, what I have to process in order to get here to give you the sanitized version of what goes on between my ears. That's creepy, Robert. I'm sorry, I have to go there. It's Scorpio rising, right? Like it's Scorpio rising. Like, I mean, when you have it, you just go to these extremes. You go, well, I could do that. I could do that. I could do that. But I don't do that. Like I said, I'm working out the human condition for you. Very creepy. I process the variables for you. I do. I go to the dark side for you. Most of you people are really good people. You don't have those thoughts. God bless you. Right? I'm here to exercise those thoughts and come out the other side. I do it for you. Catherine, you're too kind. Let's see. We got Scrubbies in the house. What's up, Tamara, with the name check? Gotta love it. Neil Smith is here. What's up, Neil Smith? Let's see. Carolyn Wallace. That still small voice never disappoints. I know, right? That was like just a game. Like if I had just blithely run off and done my errands, I probably wouldn't come back. Frank probably wouldn't invite me back. So it was good. Cupid is pissing on love in the new thumbnail. Well, he's not quite pissing. Like that he's showering. He's showering the lovers with angelic fluid. Angelic fluid is a thing. Bet you didn't know that. You just can't see it. The angels are constantly showering us with angelic fluid. We're swimming actually in a universe of angelic fluid. We just didn't know that. Frank Henneke, what's up, Frank? The JJ, Ray DeBlanc. Did anyone sign Trump signed executive order to rename Epstein Island? Is that true? What the fuck would they name it? I think Real ID on a federal level went through. Yes, Gallows Humor. I am. He renamed it Kid Rock. Oh, I like that. That's good, baby. That's good. Sardonic. That is a way to put it, Mark. Sardonic. Oh, Liddy Lou, listen to this, man. She made fresh lobster and fresh green beans. That's a nice dish. Sounds delicious. Let's see. I like cukes with Celtic sea salt. See, there are people that tomatoes apparently, and you put ketchup on your mac and cheese. It's a weird thing. I'll tell you why. Because there's no chunks in the ketchup. It's sort of like the tomato part has been kind of removed in a way. I know it's a weird thing, but I do put ketchup. I don't know why more people don't put ketchup on mac and cheese. I eat them every day. Thank you. See, there's a love for cucumbers, and I'm glad. I'm glad that and chickpeas. I went through an eggplant period. I used to work in this Italian restaurant. They did this great eggplant parmesan. Ain't gonna lie, it was really good. Do I like pickles? I like a good pickle. Right? It's, it used to be a cucumber and it got tortured. The cucumber got tortured, got put into a vat of acid brine with garlic. And it came out the other side as a better version of itself. Let's see. I like the English variety. I guess you might like those cucumber sandwiches then. My mom did not like the smell. They're acidic. Definitely. Macaroni hamburger with my siblings. I could get into that. Cilantro is one of those things too. Lapicius, ain't gonna lie. Cilantro is one of those things where it definitely has a mob mentality. Let's see. Who else do we have here? TD. Hi, TD. I will make sure not to make a cucumber salad any potluck I'm invited. You can make it. I just may not eat it. Other people may enjoy it. That's the thing, right? Other people might really like it. And for the greater good, you could make that salad. Now, if it was just me and you, that'd be a different story. But for the greater good, I have to step back and say, there are other, this is very Aquarian. This is very Aquarian. The hard part is when you go to somebody's house and they make something and you're like, okay, there's two sides to that. There's the one where there may be an ingredient that you're not into, but then there's the other side where the food kind of looks weird, right? It just looks weird. I remember one time I was in Seattle. We went to this little get together, and there's this dish in Seattle. It's a regional dish, and it's called pea goop. Pea goop. And it's like peas, cooked peas, the frozen variety, right? The frozen variety. And it's in a Miracle Whip with some other things. And just the name alone, right? Pea goop. It's like, okay, what do I do with this? And then, it's kind of like how would I describe it? It's like a potato salad, but with peas. And the woman who was there, she laughed. She said, "We call it pea goop." and I ate it, and it was one of those things where it's like, this is not too bad. Like if I had to eat more of the pea goop, I could probably do it. But there are other times where you go to somebody's house and go, "What the fuck is this?" I gotta just eat this somehow, and get through it, right? And it may not even be the ingredients, but it's the way that it looks, and they're all happy and proud and everything, and you're like, okay, this is really good. Thank you. Lepetius can take a skinned cucumber in a salad. A Clausen chilled dill. I'm into it. H.M. Grant says, I can't stand when mayo is snuck in. Mayo sneaky. It's another one of those sneaky ingredients. They seem to throw unannounced mushrooms in as well. Yeah, people can be very divided around mushrooms, for sure. The other night, I had a psychic moment with shrimp. For some reason, I just decided, hey, I want a shrimp salad. I'm going to go make myself a shrimp salad, which meant that I had to go to the store to buy the shrimp and a few other ingredients. And I come home and I make the shrimp salad. And then what do I find? That all they're talking about in the Epstein files is fucking shrimp. Now, what is up with that? All of a sudden, I'm just thinking shrimp salad. And then I'm reading about shrimp on Epstein. It's like, am I a weather? Maybe it's like prophecy through food. Am I a weather vane or what? Let's see. Amy Gill's a picky eater. You're glad I do the heavy. I'm here for you. I am here for you. I'm here to work out the thoughts that you yourself probably can't even imagine. Just ask Joan. Not every tomato is equal. There was a period where I grew tomatoes. I had this great garden and I grew all these varieties of tomatoes. I mean, they were amazing tomatoes. And they were all homegrown. I just gave them away to people. I was very popular then. Georgia Ruth, who is a trainer, says, ironic, make clients of mine hate tomatoes. And when they're training with me, try and start eating tomatoes. Well, that's weird. That's interesting. Lydia Lou's going to get some Chinese on the 17th to celebrate Chinese New Year. You don't find a lot of cucumbers in Chinese food. Are we still talking about food or astrology? I'm sorry, I'm stuck in second or third gear with food. All right, I guess I should make a transition. And let's see. I just want to see if there's Lisa Ann White. Hi, Lisa. And Chapacito, you found me from the Leo King. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, it's the great Bonnie Willow. Kim Harvey found me through the Leo King as well. There we go. Let's see. Alexis Marina. Hi, Alexis Marina. Speak for yourself. I have those types of thoughts also. I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad. All right, let's get into the weather. Oh, hold on. Lori Ann, I'm so with you on the cucumber thing. And most dishes now have that red sauce. I have changed to Alfredo, and it tastes amazing for my homemade lasagnas and pizzas. There you go. I needed a cucumber ally. And I do like cilantro too, by the way, even though it is also invasive. All right. 33 minutes into the show, people are probably thinking, when the fuck is he going to start talking about astrology? I'm so tired of this guy. Is this a food channel or what? I came here for the astrology. Yes. You came here for the meat and potatoes. See how I did that? Okay, here we go. There it is. All right. Let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody, for all you senior citizens out there, including yours truly. All right. The moon in Capricorn. And it's in a square with Saturn and Neptune. Man, okay, you got to check your patience at the door today, or maybe you should make sure that you check your impatience at the door. There's not a lot of wiggle room. I hope I put a smile on your face today, at least with this moon in Capricorn. And I am not going to completely diss moon in Capricorn, because I'm sure one or two of you have it in your charts, and God bless you. You had a demanding and at times stoic mother, which made sure that you lived up to the family standards without a lot of hugs along the way. So you learned how to take care of yourself emotionally. And that's a good skill. That's a really good skill. But today's one of those days. Today's one of those days where it's okay to ask for a hug. I'm serious. I'm totally serious. Today's one of those days where you're just like, I'm tired of carrying this burden alone. Can I just get a hug? Can I just get a thank you for all the things that I do? Today's one of those days. And don't be surprised if you run into people that take that for granted. And you ask yourself, why do I go to all this trouble to do all these things when people just kind of piss on it and take what I do for granted? It's one of those days. Instead of getting exasperated. And I do think that the communication is there. And the communication is interesting because we have this Mercury-Venus conjunction. It's a wide conjunction, 8 degrees. But the communication is there. And it's in Pisces, so it can be really soft. So in an ASMR kind of voice, you can say, "Can I ask you a question, please?" "What?" "Can I ask you a question?" And then I have to lean forward a little bit more. Is there any way that you can find it in your heart to recognize all the things that I do for you and for us and our family? Yeah, I can. So what? I do think it's one of those days. It's okay. Right? And it's not, you're not in victim mode. Trust me, you're not in victim mode. But you're in this mode where it's like, okay, I've done all this heavy lifting. I've done all the, when I think of this, and and trust me, Liddy Lou, you're not looking for that from your mom. But this is like the Liddy Lou aspect. We're going to call this the Liddy Lou aspect today. Liddy Lou's mom is over 100 years old. And that's a lot of heavy lifting. It's a lot of sacrifice, right? That's like the moon square Neptune, moon square Saturn. Liddy Lou, I'm here for you. I'm here to give you a hug for all the things that you do for your mom. All the things that you do for her, you get a hug. And this is what I'm talking about today. So try not to feel too exasperated and try not to feel too put upon. Right? Because that Capricorn moon can be very, very, very acerbic and could also retreat into these ungrateful sots. It's also sextiling Venus and Mercury. So it's one of those rare kinds of alignments where you could kind of work out being overworked. And I think people are receptive. Right? This is the beautiful thing about being in these bodies. When you reach people at a particular state and time, and astrologically, this seems to be a good moment in time. You can melt the barriers between you and another person, and then most people are like yesterday. I was just kind of on autopilot on the way out of the house. You're supposed to be on it, quite frankly. Most people are on autopilot. They just are. The level of self-awareness it may be growing incrementally, but it is still rampant in our society. And this is one of those days where people become aware of the lack of self-awareness of others or lack of appreciation. But I'm telling you, there is a way out. There is a way out. And the other thing too is like this is the Jupiter Moon opposition, is that there are people who just expect that you're going to do it. You're just going to do it. Like, well, you do it. You always do it. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? You've always done it. You always do it. That's the Jupiter Moon opposition. They just kind of take it for granted. And this is a day where you can have that really heartfelt, polite, harmonic discussion. And you can just say, put yourself in my shoes. Oh, yeah. I would want to put yourself in your shoes because you have bunions and corns. And no thanks. I don't want to put myself in your shoes. But this is kind of what I'm talking about here. Because the opposite is you're just not going to feel appreciated. And you're just going to feel like you have more burdens. You mothers of the world unite under this transit. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you have some siblings or you have some offspring that honor you on Valentine's Day. It's not just the guy in your life. It could be the people that matter the most in some ways. And Valentine's Day is one of those weird Hallmark holidays. And it's gotten to the point where if you don't participate in it, you get socially scorned. And for a long time, when I was younger, I'm like, fuck these holidays. They're bullshit. And I remember pissing my mother off because she just, Mother's Day, whatever, you kind of got to get in there. And it's Mother's Day. You got to, it's really kind of a made up day. If you would be honest, every day should theoretically be Mother's Day, but it's okay. Well, play the game. Mars is in Aquarius. Mars is interesting in Aquarius. And it's in second decan, so it's in the Gemini. And what's Mars doing today? Not a whole lot. The conjunction with the Sun, and that's a wide conjunction. It's an interesting placement for Mars. And I would say that the blanket definition, which we may be able to apply to our current situation, is all of a sudden people doing something or acting out of hand. You're like, what the fuck? Why did this person do this? Why did they just do this? Why did he start talking about extorting people and cloning their voices? I mean, it's like, I wasn't expecting that this morning. And that's Mars in Aquarius. So you got to be on your toes. And speaking of on your toes, driving wise, you got to be on your toes. I'm telling you, watch out for the unexpected bullshit. People on their cell phones. If you're driving today, make sure you're not fucking with your cell phone. I'm giving you a heads up. Just when you think to put in the directions where you're going while you're driving, remember, I am the voice in the head. Be careful while you drive today. And that's going to be a mandate as we move forward with this Mars-Uranus square. It is a insurance company's dream/nightmare. They have to pay out, but then they get to raise your rates. The other thing too is, where are we now? We're on the 12th of February. A lot of people start off at the beginning of the year with some kind of exercise program, some dedication to getting fit. You're probably running out of gas by now. You find yourself going to the gym less and less and less. Today is one of those days with Mars Vesta conjunction where you get to reinvest in your fitness. Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay with the program. You just have to mix it up, right? This is the nature of Mars in Aquarius. It is your activities need to be more eclectic. And man, I got to tell you, I've been feeling the restlessness of Mars in Aquarius in a big way. Really, really. And I've got to go through my third house. I'm like super restless. And I'm like thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to do? I gotta change my life, change my routine. Oh, I got to do something different here. Yeah. And, I was tapping into the sun sextile aspect in a chart because I have a sun sextile in my natal chart. And for you people who have sun sextile in your natal chart, one of the things that you have to do is you kind of constantly need some form of stimulation that gives you an output so that you get to experience new things, right? Because the ascendant is the gateway to new experience. And if you don't have that with the sun sextile to the ascendant, it can be challenging, difficult, and even self-destructive. So know thyself, right? Know thyself. Look up that aspect. If you have a sun sextile your ascendant, you have to make sure that your daily life tends to be an act of creative self-expression, exploration, and discovery. Got to have it. Got to have it. If not, it manifests in ways that, depending upon what your ascendant is, where your sun is at, that you may not. It may jolt you out of your doldrums, but it could also create some, how shall we say, more dynamic tension for your life. Yeah. We're going to get into a little bit of Pam Bondi today over on 15 Minutes. Boy, did she have a meltdown or what? Oh, Pam Bondi. All right, let's get into our True Hemp Science star of the day. Here we go. By the way, if you like the show, hit the like. And if you're new around these parts, coming in from Frank World, feel free to subscribe. I can use the numbers. Your True Hemp Science star of the day is Superman. Yes, today is the day that Superman was officially born. The first issue of Superman. And True Hemp Science brings you Superman and the star of the day. And True Hemp Science is your one-stop shop for all things CBD, including the miraculous sleep gummies, Chris's other variety of gummies, and the tinctures. It is the best lifestyle choice that you can make for yourself, especially on a daily basis. Get all your cells all greased up and lubricated with all those terpenes, and you start firing on 8 cylinders, and your inflammation begins to dissipate. It's great stuff. All you got to do is spend $100 or more and type in 15MINS when you purchase your order, and you'll get a goodie bag on top of your order. $150 more, always free shipping. TrueHempScience.com. TrueHempScience.com, your one-stop shop for all things CBD. All right, let's talk Superman. We're going to look at his chart. I could probably do a show on this. I have a lot to say about Superman. I actually rectified the chart because the rating for it was a double D. And I'm like, you know what? If a chart is a double D, let me get into it. And let me rearrange it a little bit, because the time might be close, but there's room. There's room in there to play around with that time, right? So initially, Superman, based on the Rodin double D chart, is 20 degrees Leo. And I thought to myself, okay, at a cultural level, Leo kind of makes sense. It's like heroic. You don't get much more Leo than Superman, right? Save the day. But from a character perspective, is Superman really a Leo rising? I don't think so. Superman's more of a Virgo rising, because he's also Clark Kent. And when you think of Clark Kent, what do you think of? I think of Virgo. I think mild-mannered Clark Kent with his glasses and his inability, his sexual frustration with Lois Lane, and carrying around a secret. Now, if you look at most of the Superman comics now, Clark Kent doesn't even exist anymore. He's just fucking Superman. But there was a time when he had to account for these two identities. Okay. So, first of all, Superman's got a shit ton of planets in Aries. And he kind of comes out of this idea of the Übermensch or the Overman, which is this Nietzschean idea of this superhuman character that defies social conventions in a lot of ways, and channels these furious energies in ways that mere mortals would be afraid to do, because their morality and their behavior is bound by convention. I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version of Nietzsche's version of the Übermensch or the Overman, which is in some ways the Superman. So the Superman has its origins kind of in that world, right? And Nietzsche becomes sort of a mascot for the Germans and Aryanism. Now, I don't think Nietzsche would have really approved, but would he have disapproved? I'm not sure about that either. But when you look at all these Aries planets, right, it's like, wow, there's a lot of Arianism in Superman's chart. Mars conjunct Saturn in Aries. That's Man of Steel shit right there. Mars Saturn conjunction, Aries, Man of Steel. South Node in Aries. So he comes from a place, right? He comes from a place where, he's kind of a race of superhuman beings. But then he has to come to the earth, and it's Libra. He's got a true node in Libra. So he has to balance the superhuman side of him and the Clark Kent everyday side of him. That's his true node. He has to hide his superpowers, and they're hidden. They're hidden in the 8th house. Jupiter in Aries, Moon in Aries. This guy's got a lot of Aries. Venus in Aries. I mean, that's a lot of Aries. Pluto trine Jupiter, right? And Pluto in Leo. So he's there for the baby boomers, right? And then he's got this Aquarian sun in the 6th house. And again, he's got to fit in, right? He has to be the everyday man. He can't be Kal-El. He has to be Kal-El and Clark Kent. And then on the midheaven, we have Algol. And between Algol and Chiron, this is where I think his kryptonite comes into play. Right? This is based on the rectified ascendant. And Algol, it's again, I think it has to do with his inability to connect his identities. Right? His body is super, but his head in his alter ego state is just Clark Kent. Now, Chiron, I think, is the kryptonite of the chart. It's in Cancer, and it squares the Moon and Jupiter. So Clark Kent can't experience normal emotions. In fact, he might even be secretly gay, right? With all those planets, and that's a lot of man love. Venus, Juno, Jupiter, a lot of man love. And Chiron squares his Moon and his Jupiter, so his ability to express human emotions is crippled. And the only way he can express his human emotions is really when he's Superman. I mean, this is the old version. The new version, he's just Superman all the time. But in the old version, there was a real dichotomy between these two characters. Okay. Within the next 4 minutes, I'm going to also give you, that's the astrological kind of version of it. Right? And even coming from Krypton to Earth, I would say that's very Uranus in the ninth house, right? He's going to be relocated to a new land, shot out of the space capsule as Krypton is exploding or whatever. Now, there's another element to Superman that is connected to the Jewish identity. And is this in the actual chart of Superman? Maybe. Maybe it's Neptune, right? Because Neptune is the first planet that we encounter here. And then we have this Yod, this finger of God, with the sun at 23 and Saturn at 26 contributing to the Yod. So Kal-El, right? Kal-El is a Hebrew name. And if you, Superman's origin story is like Moses. And he's shot out of a space capsule like Moses is sent down the Nile in a basket of reeds. And Superman is raised by a different family, just like Moses was raised by a different family. The only difference is that based on Earth's gravity and all these other things, Superman inherits these superpowers. And he has to cloak them in his identity, right? And so he takes on a Gentile name. Like Kal-El is like, it sounds Hebrew. I'm sorry, it just does. But it becomes Clark Kent. And it's like, what? It's like, and you can say, well, we've been kicked out of all these countries, so we need to change our names. So instead of Silverstein will be Silver, or Brownstein will be Brown, or whatever, right? And we'll fit in. And we'll also cloak our superpowers. We'll come across as mild-mannered and socially integrated. But behind this different name, we had a bunch of superpowers. And if we let them all out, the identity would be unveiled. This is also another part of Superman. And the writers of Superman, the creators of Superman, I believe are Simon and Schuster, if I'm not mistaken, understand this. And they're kind of putting it into code. So this is two layered, right? This is the actual kind of mythopoesis of Superman and what he stands for. And of course, the Overman or the Ubermensch is an idea that I am convinced has been fully adopted by the Zionists in Israel. It is, their mentality is completely Nietzschean, without a doubt. And I've gone through this. Theodore Herzl and Martin Buber, who were big time progenitors and advocates of Zionism, loved Nietzsche. They loved him. They thought he was great. And so Nietzsche is part of the DNA of Zionism. And Nietzsche is the Uberman. He is the Ubermensch, or the Overman, or the Superman. And Superman's Aquarian. He's an odd guy. And it's like, just put yourself in Superman's tights for a minute. Like, you can do shit that other people can't do. You can fly, you have unlimited strength, you have flames that come out of your eyes, right? You're super fast. And it's, you can feel like a real fucking oddball. That's a very Aquarian thing. I don't fit in. I'm not fit in. And I think he has a lot of sexual frustration. That's my sense. Like, he can't even get with Lois Lane. I mean, later on he does. They changed the rules, but in the beginning he can't even get with Lois Lane. I think it's interesting that the original Superman, played by George Reeves, dies under very mysterious circumstances. And also, there was a number of rumors that George Reeves, the original Superman, was also probably gay. Was Superman gay? Do you think Superman had those thoughts? And it's got to be frustrating, right? Like if he's Superman in the world, what would he be like in bed? Does he have to hide that too? I mean, if he's Superman, like, he could go for hours, hours and hours, but he can't do that because if he did, it'd blow his gig. Because there's only, a handful of people, maybe hardly anybody, that could do that. He's the man of steel. And he can't even do that. He probably has to hold back as is Clark Kent. Anyway, there you go. There's your True Hemp Science star of the day. The one and only Superman. Okay, I got to get out of here. The link for 15 minutes is in the chat. And I hope the 140 of you that are still here enjoyed this. There you go. Could a human actually get him off? Yes, all the details are matched with Virgo. And thank you, you dragon. He seemed gay. Now you mentioned it. Superman might have been gay. I think he was certainly sexually frustrated, without a doubt. So above, it's got to make some cucumber salad. Cucumbers are my kryptonite. They are my kryptonite right there. All right. Take care, y'all. If you want to hear me rant some more, I'll be over on 15 Minutes of Flame. Chatara, you're the best. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm just saying that. You are a special group. Love you all. Mods, thank you. Bye for now.